a lovely way to grow baby leaf salads in a small garden, a small space, a patio, even in a roof garden area, is to grow them in a pot. These little salads were sown about 4 weeks ago, and within a couple of weeks they'll be ready for picking. So all you really need is a plastic tub. Plastic I find are great, conserves more moisture. You could use a terracotta one, which will be a little bit heavier to lift. All you've got to do is make sure there are some drainage holes in the bottom of the container. There are lots of varieties of salads that you can grow from seeds. You've got colourful lettuces, you've got Mizuna, pak choys, all sorts of little baby salad leaves, including salad mixes. All of them can be sown directly in a pot. You can do it for many months of the year. You can start off early in the year in a greenhouse or a conservatory and get the seeds growing and germinating more quickly. Good for growing crops into the autumn as well, or even during the summer. You can sow them straight into a pot. Now, as I say, I like to use a large size container, and I use a peat-free compost. Just any peat-free compost will do, and you've just got to literally fill the pot up to the top with compost. Just go on adding compost, firm it down a little bit with your fingers as you go, and you just want a level surface with the top of the compost a couple of inches, 5-6 centimetres from the rim of the pot. Just firm it over, level it off, then choose your favourite seed. Or you can grow several different varieties all in the same pot. So today I'm going to use a little bit of Mizuna, a little bit of one of the lettuce leaves, a colourful lettuce leaf, and let's have a look. Got a nice salad mix as well. Just start off by opening the packet and sprinkling some of the seeds into your hand. And you don't have to be too accurate when you're sowing salads in this way. You're not sowing them in rows, you're sprinkling them, broadcasting them over the surface of the compost. And here I'm going to sow a third of this container with lettuce. Then I'm going to use this Mizuna. It's a nice salad leaf, brassica type salad. Great for picking when the leaves are still small and crisp and tasty. I start off by just putting some of the seed in your hand, and then again just sprinkle them over the top of the compost. You don't have to be too careful. Some seedlings will be close together, some will be spread apart. Just sprinkle them right over the whole surface. There we go, that's the Mizuna. And lastly, I can use a colourful leaf called an Amaranthus. It's a really pretty leaf to use in salads. It's quite a fine seed, quite a small seed, as you can see, tiny little seeds, but just take some little pinches, and again, over the final third of this compost, I'm just sprinkling these evenly out. Don't overdo it, just try and get right the way along to the edges. And there you have it, 3 different salad seeds in the same pot. Now you need to cover the seeds very finely with compost. And all I do is just take some handfuls of compost and just literally sprinkle just to cover the seeds. Very fine mix over the surface, not deep, just very finely down. And you can tap the pot down as well, just literally carve it over like that, firming the surface of the compost as you go. That's all you have to do. Now, water them in. I always water from the top to start with. This helps to settle the compost around the seeds and settle the seeds down as well. So give it a really nice soaking to give it a good water. Then finally, not essential, but I like to do this, I just get a little bit of clear kitchen film and I put that over the surface of the compost. Now that stops the compost from drying out too quickly, keeping the surface moist so the seeds will germinate. But once you see the little seedlings germinate, you see them emerging, just take the cling film away. And then you can water and care for the pot as usual. And as I say, within 3 or 4 weeks, you'll have a nice little spread of different salad seedlings. You can start picking them now if you want. These are delicious little tasty things. Or you can let them get a little bit bigger and pick baby salad leaves to enjoy indoors. Now, virtually any salad leaves or leafy herbs can be grown in pots. And the lovely thing is they're so fast growing, you can pick your first baby leaves within weeks of sowing. Now, many seed companies also sell mixtures of salad leaves in the same packet. Maybe it'll be a spicy mix or an Oriental mix. And the lovely thing about growing these is you'll get a nice combination of different textures and flavours and colours, all in the same mixture, all perfect for picking as baby leaves. Spinach is a great start, and baby beetroot leaves with their crunchy stems and their beautiful purple veined leaves are great in pots. Now, Mizuna is a hardy Oriental brassica, and you can pick the leaves while they're tender and young to use in salads, or let them get a little bit bigger and then they're perfect for adding to things like stir fries. For its intense flavour, I love rocket, and I recommend trying several different varieties of both wild and cultivated types of rocket, as they all have different flavours and characteristics. Now, you'll find some salads and vegetables that say they're slow to bolt, and that means they can be slow at reaching maturity, of starting to flower, and when plants do start to flower, they stop producing little baby leaves and the older leaves become coarser, not ideal for salads. So really, choosing slow bolt varieties of things, even things like coriander, are perfect for growing in pots. For a bit of colour, try a lovely mustard variety called Oriental Mustard Ruby Streaks. And if you like your salads as much as I do, you want to be picking crops right the way through from spring through until autumn. Remember to sow more than one pot, so that one is growing up, producing you some lovely big leaves for picking over perhaps a month or two. You've got a second pot, sown perhaps 4 or 5 weeks after the first, which is starting to produce some nice little seedlings. And if you're really keen, you've got a big family to feed, get yourself a third pot or even more, fill it with compost and sow some more. As they say, successional sowing is key. Sowing one pot perhaps 4 to 6 weeks after the first one, and that way you'll keep the crops coming right the way through the year. Enjoy your salads.